Ho, ho, hi there, friends. This time I'll be talking about Cannibal Claus, as well as some new releases by Arrow Video, and also some reviews like The Hospital 2 and American Guinea Pig Bloodshock. Stay with me.
Howdy, folks. Like blood, violence, freaks of nature.
He's gonna get you, Franklin. He's coming to get you.
Come to daddy.
First I played with Dad, and Mommy came.
Cannibal Claus is the newest release by the Sleazebox people, that is, Sean Donahue and Chris Woods. You may remember them from such films as Death Escort Service. Yeah, Florida-based independent filmmakers at its finest. If you like those type of 80s splatter movies like, for instance, Tim Ritter's Killing Spree, then this movie's for you. You know exactly what you're getting into. A lot of breasts, a lot of nudity, a lot of blood, a lot of gore. Not a lot of story, but hey, that's the fun of these things and the draw. The very minimalistic plot that there is of Cannibal Claus is about a guy named Nick Kringle, I shit you not. And he works as a mall Santa. One day he goes to work to find out that he gets fired. That's all Mr. Kringle needed to snap and go around killing people and eating them. That's all you need to know. You see, in a flashback scene, it turned out that Nick had a weird thing happen on Christmas. He starts off his killing spree by killing a couple, but not before the wife does a really sensual striptease. There's honestly not much that I can show you in pictures or video about the film because it's that graphic. It's just non-stop craziness. And if I had to take away one thing from this film, it would be that if I had a cartoonishly huge mountain-sized pile of cocaine and two prostitutes with me with gigantic boobs sticking out, I probably wouldn't answer the door. And if there was a knock at the door, I learned that these girls don't even bother to cover up. The dude just goes right over and answers the door. Who's he expecting? Who cares? It's fun. It's just gore and nudity throughout the entire movie. And I gotta tell you, I don't know how Mr. Donahue finds these women, but they're willing to bear it all and then some on some of these movies. God bless them. So all in all, if you like the type of movie, then Cannibal Claus is right up there for you. It'll make a great Christmas gift for that splatter fan in your family. And now on to The Hospital 2. Jim O'Rear, Daniel Emery Taylor, and Scott Tepperman. Boy, you stick those three in a movie together and anything can happen. Check this one out. This one, actually, I reviewed when I was working with the Examiner online. And I tell you, this is one hell of a movie. It's kind of like The Devil's Rejects. I gotta tell you, to me, Megan Emmerich stole the movie. She was amazing. Jim O'Rear just came right up there, and they have such a great chemistry together. Also, we've got an appearance by Debbie Rochon, and she does a wonderful job in this one. I don't want to give too much away in fear of spoiling it, but she does a great job. Daniel Emery Taylor also coming back as Stanley. He does a great lumbering brute. So it's kind of a different approach when you see him in Camp Massacre playing like the jolly cool fat guy, or when you seen him in Return of Swamp Thing as a little kid and he was so funny. He was so to see him in this kind of role, it's just overwhelming. He's a really good actor. Also, I spotted a slight cameo by Marcus Cook, the special effects guy who did the movie. I'm not even going there. I'm not going to tell you where he is in the movie, but if you can point him out, good luck. And the disc is filled. MVD did so well with this one. As far as special features go, there's more than just the trailer. There's a blooper reel. There's a video diary. There's a making of featurette. Speaking of Marcus Cook, you've got to check out American Guinea Pig Bloodshock. This one is, I can't describe it. It's amazing. Marcus has such a fine detail for visuals. It's hard to explain. Trust me when I say not an ounce of the red stuff was forsaken, because you're going to be seeing so much gore in this movie. The ending blew me away. And again, I don't want to get into much in fear of spoilers, but there's a lot. They really take it to the extreme. Think of like Martyrs, and the victim in this one is played by, and I didn't know this until afterward, Danny Ellis, the guy who played the killer in Gutterballs. He does a fantastic job in this. I really, really thought that he was in pain through most of this. So he can act. And I did squirm more than a few times. But I tell you what makes it all worth it is seeing the behind-the-scenes extras. Because there's a making-of feature that after you watch it, you realize that everything's going to be okay. They're good people making a movie. The guy who plays the doctor, wow, good job. I applaud you, my friend. The movie itself is about a guy who's being tortured by a doctor. They don't go into reasons why until the end. But when it all comes together, it's like, whoa. Again, man, MVD's stepping up their game with the extras on this one. 3 discs. Wow. You can't miss this one. 3 discs. You've got cool little booklet. You've got the movie on Blu-ray, the movie on DVD, and the soundtrack. That's getting your money's worth. MVD, good show. You've got a couple of winners here. Chud. What more can be said? Those 4 letters alone should, when put together, make any horror fan go, oh, I can't wait. Of course, the movie says Chud stands for 2 different things. Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, or contamination hazard urban development. In any case, it's a winner. When I remember seeing this movie as a kid, I was actually kind of pissed off. I was pissed off because I had written something similar. My story was about New York City sewers being a dumping ground for bodies from the morgue because they ran out of room. And at the same time, a chemical company was dumping their toxic waste. And of course, they created these cannibalistic monsters in the sewers that would come out. And yeah, my story was nowhere near as good. But I held that grudge. And in 1984, I finally watched it. Man, such a fun movie. In any case, you know Daniel Stern's big role and John Goodman's first appearance in a movie, I believe. Anyway, it's got lots of special features. Like I said, it's 2 discs. You've got 2 different versions of the film. You've got commentary with the director and with Daniel Stern and some other actors. You've got interviews with the cast and crew. You've got the Arrow treatment on Chud. What more could you want? Pick it up. Arrow's also given us The Initiation. This one stars Daphne Zuniga, her first major role in a movie. Of course, she was in The Dorm That Dripped Blood, but she had maybe a 5-minute scene in the beginning and died right away. So it was good to see her act out through the whole film. The film also has Clu Gulager and Vera Miles, and it's just one of those fun 80s slasher movies. And of course, Arrow wouldn't be releasing a bare-bones movie. It's packed as well with lots of special features. Like you've got the commentary, you've got interviews with the actors in the film, you've got the writer of the film looking back. It's pretty good. Check it out. Next up is The Driller Killer, 1979, Abel Ferrara. It was a video nasty. Love it. I don't think you could have passed through the 80s without seeing this movie's box cover with the homeless guy getting the drill in his head and all the blood coming down. Yeah, I loved it. I rented the fuck out of this movie. Anyway, I digress. Arrow's version here has 2 different versions of the film, and it's restored beautifully from its original grindhouse, grainy-looking, lovable print. Abel Ferrara stars in the movie, although he's credited as Jimmy Lane as the actor, as Steven, the guy who goes around with a drill killing homeless people. But this disc is also packed. You've got things like, besides the 2 versions and cuts of the film, you've also got things like a brand new commentary with Abel Ferrara. You've got making of videos. You've got the music. You've got something called Mulberry Street, which is kind of like a documentary from 2010. And you've got some new interviews with Abel Ferrara. You can't go wrong with the Driller Killer. Creepshow 2. So yes, as you know, not a big fan of the movie, but that's okay because Arrow delivers again. They give you the movie and then some. This one comes with the 2K restoration of the film. It's also got a brand new commentary by the director, Michael Gornick. It's also got some behind-the-scenes featurettes. It's got Nightmares in Foam Rubber. I know it's misspelled, but it's on there, and it documents the special effects makeup with the K&B effects crew. Howard Berger, Greg Nicotero, and Robert Kurtzman. And it's also got something by Howard Berger working with Rick Baker. It's called My Friend Rick. Without a doubt, still worth buying, even if you don't like the movie. Which, as you know, is another compilation of Stephen King short stories done like a comic book format. You've got Old Chief Woodenhead. You've got The Raft, which seems to be the most popular story about this monster blob living in a lake, trapping these kids. Chief Woodenhead's about a revenge story, EC Comics-ish. You know the story. Bad guys come in and bully an old couple, and the wooden statue takes revenge on them all. It's also noteworthy that George Kennedy is in that one, as well as the son of Hal Holbrook. So it's interesting to see again. Of course, Hal Holbrook's son was also one of the leads in the movie Girls' Night Out. And of course, thanks for the ride, Lady the Hitchhiker. Lady who's having an extramarital affair hits and kills a hitchhiker while driving down I-95 in Bangor, Maine. And she keeps seeing him over and over and over again. Tom Savini plays this crypt keeper-ish type of character called the Creep. And the wraparound story is a cartoon with a kid getting bullied and getting his revenge. So, yep, if you haven't seen Creepshow 2, pick it up. If you have seen it, pick it up. The extras more than make up for it. Finally, the Hellraiser box set. Wow. Let me start by telling you what's on these discs. Disc 1, you've got Hellraiser, the first movie. It's got a 2K restoration. It's got a commentary with Clive Barker. It's got another commentary with Barker and the star, Ashley Lawrence. It's got a documentary on the making of Hellraiser with interviews from a lot of the cast and crew members. It's got the actor who played Frank doing interviews. And for some reason, I was not aware that he was English. I had always thought he was American, judging from the way he acted in this one. It's got the music guy talking about the score for the film. It's got a featurette called Hellraiser Resurrection, with interviews by Clive Barker, Doug Bradley, Ashley Lawrence, etc. It's got interviews with Doug Bradley playing Pinhead and how he started with Clive Barker's films. It's got cast and crew interviews. It's got the screenplay. That's only disc 1. Disc 2 is also packed. It's got the 2K restored version of Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. It's got an audio commentary with the director, Tony Randall, and the writer, Peter Atkins. It's got another commentary with Ashley Lawrence. It's got Leviathan, the story behind Hellraiser 2. And that's a new documentary about the film. It's got new interviews with Sean Chapman, the actor who played Frank. He reprised his role. It's got the never-before-seen surgery scene, which was a special scene that was never seen before on home video, and they restored it from the legendary VHS work print. There's a featurette called Lost in the Labyrinth. There's Doug Bradley again with a segment called Under the Skin, talking about Hellraiser 2. There's an interview on the set with Clive Barker, who looks very young. There's also some storyboards, some more behind-the-scenes footage, and of course, the screenplay. Disc 3, Hell on Earth. Now, as you know, this is not my favorite of all the movies, but hey, I'll take it. Also, 2K restoration of the film. You've also got an alternate unrated version of the film. That alone is worth seeing this for. It'll give you a new take on the movie. It runs 4 or 5 minutes longer than the original film. There's a brand new commentary with the writer, Peter Atkins. There's the original commentary with Anthony Hickox, the director. There's a brand new documentary called Hell on Earth, the making of Hellraiser 3. There's Under the Skin again with Doug Bradley, talking more about being Pinhead on this one, part 3. There's Terry's Tales, an interview with the actress, Paula Marshall. There's more on-set interviews with Clive Barker and Doug Bradley. There's special effects dailies to see. There's a comic book adaptation as well. Disc 4. This is packed as well with nothing but special features. It's got 2 shorts by Clive Barker, Salome, the daughter of Herod. And the other one is The Forbidden. So I apologize for mispronouncing that first one, but it's also got the Books of Blood and Beyond, which is a retrospect on the Books of Blood series by Clive Barker. Hellraiser Evolution, a brand new documentary on the Hellraiser movies. And you've got a short film. It's called The Hellraiser Chronicles, A Question of Faith. I gotta say, if you're a fan of the Hellraiser movies, don't even think twice. Pick this one up as soon as possible. And that's all I've got for you this time.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. And a Happy New Year.